9 News Plus weather, sponsored by Carrier Colorado. The future of home comfort is here.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi with a detailed look at your Colorado weather forecast. And for today, we have some more showers and storms in the picture, but I think we're going to have overall a lower coverage in terms of those showers and storms compared to yesterday and the day before. And I think we'll have a slightly higher chance of seeing those showers and storms on the south side of the metro area as opposed to I-70 on north and east. That said, still have some storms around between about 2 and 8, and we'll show you this in detail in just a second. But overall, I would say lower storm odds today compared to yesterday. And then as we look ahead to tomorrow, but that's when we could be dealing with some stronger storms, mainly across the northeastern plains, but could include us here in the Denver metro area as well. But taking a look outside, starting to see a few fair weather clouds bubble on up, as tends to be the case around this afternoon, around this time, late morning, early afternoon. Tend to see those cumulus clouds start to bubble on up, and those will eventually give way to some of those showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon once again. But that said, as I mentioned, lower storm coverage today compared to yesterday and on Monday when we had a lot of rain, some fairly widespread storms. Today looks like we'll have maybe 1 or 2 stronger storms, probably again best chance south side of the metro area. Otherwise, we're looking at a fair bit in the way of some cloud cover this afternoon and a few showers. But I think that the storm odds, generally speaking, looking a little bit lower than the last few days. Then tomorrow, some stronger storms once again. And then the weekend, looking pretty cool, but with fairly low storm odds for the weekend. That said, taking a look at central parts of the state where we do have some wildfire smoke. This is from the low-line fire, of course, that is burning between Crested Butte and Gunnison. I would say in Gunnison in particular, there along Highway 50, you will certainly notice that extra wildfire smoke overnight tonight and to tomorrow morning. County Road 730, you'll probably see that smoke as well. And again, that is thanks to the low-line fire, and that will probably drain down to the Gunnison River Basin. So I would expect some of that thicker smoke down into Gunnison proper. So if you're joining us from there, of course, that is as a result of the low-line fire. HD Doppler radar, starting to see a few of those showers pop on up into northern Colorado. This would be in around the Cameron Peak burn scar once again, western Larimer County. That's where we're seeing some of those first showers bubble on up this afternoon. And then this afternoon, we'll see those shower storms push their way on in from west to east. And the I-25 corridor, we'll see 1 or 2 of those stronger storms eventually move their way on in. And then we'll see some of those strongest storms, I should say, out in the northeastern corner of our state. A few leftover showers overnight. Then we'll see some more action tomorrow, perhaps a bit more widespread action tomorrow compared to today. Once again, for this afternoon, slightly lower storm odds compared to yesterday, with 1 or 2 showers around for us from I-70 on south. And then we'll see those showers and storms push the way off to the east. And look at this, once we get to about 5, 6 o'clock, again, better chance for some of those stronger storms south of Denver, but most of us looking at a few showers around, and then those will clear on up by about 7 or 8 o'clock this evening, maybe 1 or 2 of those lingering around to about 9 o'clock, and then we'll clear things on out. Temperatures already into the 80s for us here on across the eastern plains, 60s and 70s is the high country, a little cooler than what we were yesterday and on Monday, especially Monday where we got into the low 90s, but still fairly moist out there, fairly humid. You can feel it from Greeley, Fort Morgan on east. That's where you're seeing that humidity. Higher this number is, this is a dew point. And by the way, people always ask me this, should I use relative humidity or a dew point? Dew point is the best way to measure the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. I'm just telling you that straight up. Long, complicated, geeky scientific reason behind it, but just trust me on that. Use this number to measure the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. And Denver, when you see that number at 60 or above, that tells us we got a lot of humidity in the air. 56 is still pretty moist. So if you're stepping outside, you could probably feel that humidity. I did on my run earlier on today. And speaking of today, high temperatures, mid to maybe upper 80s for us here in the metro area. Showers, storms around between about 2 and 8 p.m. Best chance to mention south of Denver, though everybody will have a shot at a shower or a storm. That threat for severe weather looks much lower today compared to yesterday, so that is some good news. For tonight, early showers and storms, those should be done by about 8 o'clock, and temperatures drop back into the low 60s. And for tomorrow, similar to today in terms of those temperatures, but the difference for tomorrow compared to today will be a higher risk for severe weather, and especially for our friends in northeastern Colorado. You get east of about kind of Byers, once you get to about kind of Fort Lupton, Byers on east, that's where we're going to see a better chance of seeing some of those very strong storms. Damaging winds look to be the big threat from these storms for tomorrow. We're going to see a big line develop, and that will march its way east. Exactly where that line develops will determine whether or not the entire Denver metro area is included within that risk zone or is just part of it. At this point, it looks like DIA on east will have the best chance at seeing some of that severe weather for tomorrow. So once again, once we get to about tomorrow afternoon, we'll see those first storms fire on up. Pretty early tomorrow, those storms will develop between about 12 and 2 p.m., and those storms will march their way off to the east with it. A big line of powerful storms likely from, again, about Fort Lupton, Byers on east. So you get into eastern Adams, Arapahoe, eastern Weld, Morgan counties. That's where you start getting into that trouble zone for tomorrow afternoon in terms of that higher risk for severe storms. And then additional rainfall, we got more yet to go. The mountains we're starting to need the rain pretty badly into the high country at this point. It's been a very dry stretch for us into the high country. The monsoon season has been very slow to get going, and that means we've only seen a few drops of rain for us over the last 30 days or so into the high country, and starting to get pretty dry up there despite a very good winter into the high country. And again, certainly looking to Mother Nature to get a bit more rain into the high country. Now for the 7-day forecast, Friday we will have a high temperature, and I don't know why it's not popping up, but it will be in the mid to upper 80s for us on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, temperatures start to cool on down. In fact, Sunday looking very cool and perhaps a bit stormy for us, and then we start to warm back up into the early part of next week. So once again, top line takeaways for that forecast for today: lower storm odds, but non-zero compared to yesterday. Tomorrow, higher risk for severe weather. Then by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we dry things up a little bit, especially for Friday, and then we start to cool on down as we get into Sunday and Monday with highs only in the 70s. We're typically, or I should say on average, we're in the upper 80s this time of year. So when we're talking about these highs in the low 70s, that's very chilly for the beginning part of the month of August. We've got some fairly cool temperatures ahead for us. I'll have another update for you coming up at 9 News at noon and also at 2 p.m. right here on 9 News Plus. And we'll also have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4 and 5, and then Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, 10 tonight on the 9 News family of networks. Once again, I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.